21 years on, to meet again. Sydney FC looking to move back to the top of the table, and the Mariners looking to defend their unbeaten home record. Well, just the one change for Warren Moon as Christian Theoharis comes in for Sabit Noor. Otherwise, no changes at the back, where Andrew Redmayne is in goal. Storm Roux, Lucas Moragas either side of James Donachie, and the former Sydney FC youth product Nathan Paul, Alfie McCalmont and Brad Tapp in midfield. And then up front, Miguel De Pizio and Ryan Edmondson. That's central two. While for Sydney FC, for the first time this season, Ufuk Talay has made changes to his starting 11. Thiago Quintal comes in for the injured Paul Ocon-Engsler. He's out with a quad injury. While in defence, Ben Garuccio makes his first start in sky blue as Joel King drops to the bench. Harrison Devonish-Mears continues in goal. Alex Grant and Tisserand in defence. Rhys Yully, at just 20 years of age, is now the senior man in midfield with Ocon's absence. And there's plenty of goals up front as well. Al-Hassan Toure, Campuzano, and the A-League top scorer, Joe Lolly. There is Warren Moon. He has only lost 2 of 9 matches coached against Sydney FC. Only 2 wins, mind you, but 5 draws in that time. The interim manager of the Central Coast Mariners. Will he soon be named as the main man? Ufuk Talay, well, it's his 16th meeting against the Central Coast Mariners as coach. So far, a pretty good record. 9 wins, 2 draws, and just 4 defeats at the helm of Wellington Phoenix and Sydney FC. Our referee for this evening's clash is Ben Abraham. He takes charge of this fixture for the 4th time. He's being assisted by Andrew Mamarakis and James Sherry. Jake Rose is the 4th official. And in the VAR room, Alex King and Daniel Elder. Lucas Moragas there in the huddle. A big carrot dangling in front of this Mariners side. What a turnaround it has been for them so far this season, and they could move back into the 6 with a win. Well, there is Storm Roux, one of 4 players to have played every single minute of the season so far for the Mariners. Today, it's match number 239 in all competitions for the Central Coast. He draws level with a certain Matt Simon, second only behind John Hutchinson. And he's never scored in 30 matches against Sydney FC. At the other end, Harrison Devonish-Mears, the 29-year-old goalkeeper. He has a degree in biological science from the University of Southern Florida, where he was playing. He has a save percentage this season of 81.8%. That's second in the league. Almost a year to the day that he made his A-League debut. It was right here at Polytech Stadium, and he was sent off in the 42nd minute, replaced by that man, Andrew Redmayne. Redmayne only played 1 more game for Sydney FC. That was the next week. Well, after a 50-minute delay due to a lightning storm in the Gosford area, we are finally underway for the 60th time between the Central Coast Mariners and Sydney FC. 2 clubs that have written some of the most thrilling pages in the history of the A-League. And they meet again. Daniel McBreen in this fixture, which you know very well, is always a special occasion.
Well, it certainly is, Robbie. And it's a match that generally produces excitement. There's been lots of excitement off the pitch tonight with the weather. And in 59 iterations of this, just the 3-0-0 draws. So let's hope for plenty more goals tonight. And I'm sure both sets of players are itching to produce some good football. It's been a long way. They've been inside, back out, back in again. We're underway now.
Plenty of nervous energy to get out now. Young players as well, the Central Coast Mariners, the second youngest squad in the league. Warren Moon's side, they've used the fewest players of any side as well in the competition. 18 players used, that's the same number as Sydney FC, as Alex Grant goes looking over the top for Al Hassan Toure. 3 goals for him so far this season. They all came in the one match against Newcastle. Just a little way up the F3 in the old lingo. Big night for Andrew Redmayne as well. Fantastic career for Sydney FC. And when he was deemed very much surplus to requirements, he decided, instead of hanging up the boots and using that teaching degree that he completed a couple of years ago now, he'd go around one more time, back where it all began.
Well, the coaching staff of the Mariners and the fans and everyone involved, glad about that. He's been sensational. Some wonderful saves, constantly organising at the back. A real leader in the group, all of his experience. It's great to see him back where it all started.
He's had to make some saves as well. The Mariners have conceded more shots against their goal than any other side in the competition coming into this round of matches. Sydney on the front foot, Garucho with Toure, gets it straight back. Nice ball towards Joe Lolly. It just eluded him. The pitch, Macca, looks in pretty good condition considering we had torrential rain for about half an hour there.
Yeah, it is immaculate condition. Very hot today. Obviously the women's game was called off, and then all of a sudden we're postponed for, it was a wild storm for about half an hour. The surface is picture perfect.
Good contingent of travelling supporters as well from Sydney FC who have made the trip. And today it wasn't an easy one as well, with bushfires in the area, including pretty serious ones around Coolawong, which you can actually see from Polytech Stadium. No trains running from Sydney to Gosford today, so those fans have had to find other means. And same for the locals as well, who have weathered the heat and the fires and the storms for a bit of light relief. They're on the back foot here again. Campuzano had drifted into an offside position, so lets it go. Here's Ryan Grant looking for the 150th win of his A-League career. That's a great little touch from Quintal. He was so desperate to get it onto his left foot though.
Well, I'll be honest, I thought he was fouled there. Nathan Paul had a whole handful of his shirt. The referee allowed, and you can see now he's saying exactly that. He's pulling my shirt, sir. He showed some really smart feet, didn't he? Quick little turn. The ball was left in his way.
Garucho for Quispe, the Peruvian, whose own personal fan club is. There's a fairly wild challenge from Thea Harris. You can see the Peruvian fans on the far side of the pitch, who are the Piero Quispe fan club. They have been here since I arrived, just after 5 o'clock. It's been a long wait for them.
There you can see the ball with a full handful, and here's that challenge from Thea Harris. A little bit late and from the side. I'm sure he'll get a little bit of a chat too.
Quispe, it might yet come for Campuzano, the Spanish striker, whose only goal so far came against the Mariners when these two sides met at Leichhardt Oval back in round 2 of the season. They left it late, goals in the second half, but that's very much Sydney FC's thing so far this season. Second half goals, all but one of them have come after the half-time interval. Campuzano got the first, and then Pat Wood off the bench. Added a second to make the game safe. Theoharis has a little bit of blood by the looks of things. We might head down to Daniel Garb, who's on the sidelines for us. Garby, you've weathered the storm as well down there.
That I have, along with all the other supporters. You're right about those Quis Bay fans, but they were at the airport at 4 a.m. when he arrived at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning a couple of months ago, so you won't keep them away, that's for sure. And all the fans have stuck around as well, which is great to see. And Warren Moon, when he came out, the Mariners coach, he took note of that, and he said, isn't this great to see so many fans sticking around, nobody left. And it's probably improved the atmosphere. Sometimes when you're longing for a game to start, it can lead to a bit of a buzz, so that's certainly the feeling around here at the moment. There is a really strong wind in wake of that storm, and it's certainly at the back of the Mariners at the moment.
Thank you, Garby. We'll be back in to check with you as this game continues. Well, it has been pretty windy around New South Wales the last few days as well, which hasn't helped on the fire front. Garuccio, intercepted by Miguel De Pizio, looking for a big season, yet to be firing on all cylinders. The new number 10, he inherited that jersey. McCalmont's interception. Edmondson with Theoharis. An opportunity to break quickly. They just lost their forward momentum. Brad Tapp with Donachie. Rue again. Received the framed jersey with 200 on it as De Pizio looks wide left for Moragas. Will he get there? He won't be able to. Only just, but he is one who has been in great form, Lucas Moragas, in recent weeks.
Well, he's been their real outlet going forward as well, hasn't he? Any opportunity he can, he likes to get on the front foot.
Got his first ever A-League goal in the 3-2 loss to Western Sydney just a couple of weeks ago. McCalmont again. That's going to break nicely for Theoharis. Edmondson in the middle. Oh, his cutback was poor. Theoharis, but they've managed to get a corner out of it.
Really, see, he's got the nose all blocked up. Maybe that's hindered him a little bit. He just seems to stretch at the last minute. Maybe slip as well. Just didn't help him. Plenty of runners in the box. 4 or 5 yellow shirts making their way into the danger area.
Theoharis to deliver with that left boot. To the back post. Oh, completely unmarked, and the opening goal, Brad Tapp. Fantastic moment for the Mariners skipper. The first ever A-League goal. Missed so much of last season with that ACL injury just after he'd made a place for himself in this side. Well, he's back and he's on the score sheet, and the Mariners lead Sydney by 1-0.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, we'll just see it's too easy. He just drifts off. Ryan Edmondson works as a blocker for him, and he just strolls around the back. A little deflection helps it on its way. But that is a well-worked move. Some poor defending from Sydney FC, but Christian Theoharis, who's been elevated into the starting lineup with the delivery to the back post, and the set piece from the training ground works a treat.
The cannon fires at Polytech Stadium. It's just the second time this season they have opened the scoring, the Central Coast Mariners. They are a side that have been slow starters so far this season. And I guess we are just an hour after the original kickoff time.
Are you calling that a 70th minute goal, Irving?
10 minutes in. Mariners lead early, and Sydney FC, whose 2 defeats this season have both come away from home. Thea Harris has to be careful. That was Storm Roux. Has to be careful around Al Hassan Toure. Those 2 defeats against Adelaide and Western Sydney, bookending 4 consecutive wins for Sydney FC that saw them to the top of the table. They can return there if they get the win here, but to do that, they'll have to come from behind. They have won the last 2 against the Mariners, but they lost here last season when Devonish Mears was sent off. Gisbert with Quintal. Garucho turns inside. Gisbert again. Garucho. He's got a great left foot on him. Crosses to the back post. Joe Lolly will keep it in. There's Ryan Grant. I was going to mention earlier, Ryan Grant. A-League match number 323 for him this evening. They're doing it the hard way, but it could be win number 150 for him. Roux, long, one for Edmondson to chase, but he won't keep it in. But he lives it all very intensely on the sideline of Fuktale.
Well, I was just about to say, both coaches have been almost permanent fixtures at the top of their technical area. Both very animated, screaming out instructions, directions. That seems to only just intensified a little bit with Fuktale since the goal.
He's not happy, glaring at Alex Grant as well.
Look, he's standing in front of the throw-in again.
He's a presence, isn't he, for Fuktale? De Pizio back with Nathan Paul. Came through the ranks at Sydney FC as a youth before heading to the Mariners. Ball in towards Edmondson from Moragas. De Lima contesting with Grant. Well done, Donachie, but Campuzano might be able to break here. Well, there's that stiff breeze Garvey was talking about. Ball almost coming back over the halfway line. Here's Grant with a coat hanger on Arthur De Lima. Mariners fans didn't like it. Marcel Tisserand with Alex Grant. Here's Garucho again. Slight change in formation with Ocon's absence. Gisbert. Here's Campuzano, turns inside, space for Campuzano. And probably should have done better in the end.
Well, I think there was a hint of offside, but look at the way the Mariners defenders both drop off and give him space to turn. I don't think he could believe how much space and time he actually had. And when he did have the space, when he realised the ball was central in his feet and he found it hard to dig it out.
Well, De Pizio dragged to the ground, but he managed to get that ball wide to Moragas as the Mariners look to hit on the counter-attack again. And De Lima and Moragas not on the same wavelength at all that time.
Well, I think De Lima had made the run, and once it didn't come originally, it sort of switched off thinking that Moragas was going to cut inside himself, and who would have blamed him? And that opened up. It was a 1v1 situation on the edge of the box. And I just think that was the little conversation as they made their way back into position.
Tisserand. Already know there's not going to be a fourth clean sheet this evening, this season for the Sydney FC backline. Tisserand with Grant. Garucho, already seeing plenty of the ball, Ben Garucho. There's good off the bench in his first appearance for the Sky Blues in that losing cause against the Wanderers. Quintal with Lolly. Yuli getting forward. That's the one slight little change with the absence of Ocon. Yuli and Ocon more or less 2 sixers with Kispe in front now.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of an aggressive stance, let's say.
Kispe again, there is Quintal, dispossessed, strong challenge from McCalmont. And DePizio looked to have got away from Kispe, turned back into trouble.
Well, he just looked over the wrong shoulder, didn't he? Thought he was away. Didn't realise that Kispe had just snuck in on the right-hand side.
Been a bright start, though, from DePizio. Here is Rhys Yuli. Kispe. You can expect Sydney FC to have the Lions' share of possession. They are the best passing side in terms of accurate passes in the competition. The Mariners, the side that make the second fewest passes. Only ahead of Brisbane. There's Barucio's cross, intercepted by Storm Roux. DePizio, that's a good turn. Roux takes over. DePizio going again. Well read by Tisserand.
He reads the play well, doesn't he? So Tisserand very composed as well. We saw one earlier where he just pulled it down and dinked it over the head of the onrushing attacker. On occasion, just passes back, diffuses the situation.
Gets it back eventually from Alex Grant. Not too much urgency from Sydney FC all of a sudden. 17 minutes in. Mariners back defending in numbers. That early goal has given the Mariners something to defend, and we saw last week against Melbourne City they can defend. Harris not backward in coming forward, flying into another challenge. Grant, little chip, Campuzano, nice touch, gets it straight back, Campuzano! And a first save of the evening for Andrew Redmayne.
Well, it was neat play, wasn't it? Just around the box. Touch football. Andrew Redmayne, though, it's almost warm-up practice for him.
He's had enough of that tonight. 2 official warm-ups. I'm not sure he'll mind. If there's one thing he would like, and he's made no secret about it, it's to get one over his former club. Thea Harris, great crossfield ball. Moragas, look at Edmondson, unmarked in the middle. The cross is overhit for De Lima. Joe clears only as far as the goal scorer, Brad Tabb. Been a bit of a mixed bag for this young Mariners side so far this season. In their 6 matches so far, 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses.
Well, though, from the predictions of pre-season where everyone thought, I think they've done a pretty good job. Lots of stuff happening off the field around the club. Not too many signings.
And a coach that left on the eve of the season.
Eve of the season, as we see that nice little play from Sydney FC. So there was lots for people to be sceptical about, or about would it be a good start to the season. I think Warren Moon and his staff have done a pretty good job so far, satisfactory. We're giving them pass marks to this point. And I just wonder how long does he become interim and then they make a decision.
Well, it's a bit of a thing in the A-League.
Maybe he needs to have a big speech after the match tonight.
The header just tipped over from Devonish Mears. That full stretch to deny Ryan Edmondson.
Well, shades of offside there. Wasn't Edmondson in the offside position. It's Mears at full stretch. Wasn't taking any chances.
corner so far. 1 goal for the Central Coast Mariners. It's Thea Harris to deliver again. Back post again. And the header. Again, back in towards that danger zone. It was their first goal from a corner this season, the Central Coast Mariners. Normally that's Sydney's domain. They've already scored from 3 this term, more than any other side. Lolly closed down. De Lima doing a good job in that department early in this contest. Moragas takes off again. De Lima likewise. And the effort, oh, a stunning strike. Alfie McCalmont, who's scored 2 penalties this season, looking to add a contender for goal of the season.
Well, he had willing runners going forward, and at first you thought, well, play Moragas, and then De Lima, and he said, well, you take the defenders away, I'll come inside. And gee, he hit it well.
He's asking if there wasn't a little touch off the gloves.
Wasn't too sure either.
He just wanted the shot on target stand, I think. So close to a second goal for the Mariners, but look out, Kisbey. He's asking a lot of Joe Lolly, but he's been delivering a lot in recent weeks. We heard Danny Vukovic talking about Lucas Moragas' improved defensive qualities. They're going to be tested this evening as well. And there he is, in the right place to prevent that one getting through to Joe Lolly. Yuli gets it back. Kisbey seeing a lot of the ball early as well, the Peruvian, lots of little one-touch passes, trying to direct traffic from that advanced midfield role. Ryan Grant, Lolly, now Yuli. From Quintal and also from Nathan Paul.
It's been a good little battle, that one so far. Big unit, Nathan Paul at the back. Tiny technical Quintal.
There's plenty of little technical players in this Sydney side, and a couple of big powerful units in Toure and Lolly as well. One just getting away from Ben Garucho. Let's head back down to Daniel Garb on the sideline, who's keeping a close eye on that Peruvian number 7, Garby.
Yeah, I am. You can tell that he's trying to impose himself on the game far more tonight, Piero Quispe. Definitely picking up the ball in deeper areas, trying to be a bit more physical as well. He was found wanting in that department in the derby, wasn't he? And you can tell Lufuk getting a little bit frustrated as well, because that final ball is still not there. That little bit of final product is still lacking from his game. He's been here long enough now, high expectations, and it is still lacking a little bit. Daniel McBreen, I just wonder what you think about where it all sits right now for Piero Quispe at Sydney FC.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, Gubby, in the fact that he looks extremely technical, and we're seeing him turn on a dime, getting out of tight spaces, but that's all good and well, but if there's no end product, then there is no point to all that.
Here come the Mariners looking for more end product. De Lima trying to squeeze it through. Did it hit an arm on the way through? Half-hearted appeals. The header from McCalmont was straight down the middle. And DiPizio, in the end, the referee waiting to see what was going to happen. He's putting himself about a little bit this evening as well, Miguel DiPizio.
Well, here's another one that, when we talk about output, I think it's time for him to start getting more assists and more goals. Another one almost in the same ilk as in, very technical player. You can see undoubted skills. You need to have that end product. You need to start adding some numbers in that goals and assist columns.
That's the difference between the good players and the great players, isn't it? Here's Lolly, who averages about a goal in 3 for Sydney FC during this 4th season at the club. Ishmeers is enjoying an excellent 2nd season so far between the posts of Sydney FC. Nathan Paul winning that one. Ryan Grant and De Lima, another huge battle there, and Ryan Grant absolutely furious with Ben Abraham. Grant. Well read by Donachie, but the ball breaks straight back to Sydney FC. Over 70% possession so far for Sydney FC. Quintal with Lolly. Joe Lolly trying to emulate what McCalmont did at the other end. Almost took out one of the ball boys behind the goal there.
Well, we've seen him strike once from distance. This one's probably just a little further out than he would have liked. Maybe just a little bit of frustration as well. Hasn't really got too much joy.
Quintal's ball just too much for Lolly, who has to back up immediately. Puthano. Grant. Little ball for Lolly. Grant gets it back. Lolly again. Nice football on the right. Lolly shot blocked. Nathan Paul's header. And De Lima just looks for the safety of the touchline.
Warren Moon's reaction when that ball was given away, he was apoplectic, and he's just turned around and said, go and warm up, everyone. The last 2 times the ball's given away, he has been jumping up and down in anger.
The entire bench has gone to warm up. Well, if that's not a message to be sent to your starting 11.
It's also one of the ones that the subs are like, oh, really, Gaffer? We know you're not going to do it now, surely.
Kispe. Well, they might be. Al-Hassan Toure, great finish! Clinical from Al-Hassan. And Warren Moon's premonition comes true. Absolutely seething on the sideline. It's another giveaway in their own half of the field that sees Sydney straight back on the front foot, and this time they exacted full penalty.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, they had a couple of warnings, and Sydney FC have done this so well this season, and that man, Al-Hassan Toure, is lethal. It's Kispe. We asked for more output. Well, there's the delivery. Andrew Redmayne almost does enough. He gets a hand to it, but it's a wonderful pass into the path, and he can play it first time into that far corner. Andrew Redmayne so close, but that's what they do, Sydney FC. They win it, they go quickly, and they're ruthless. And he saw it coming, Warren Moon. They had 1, they had 2, and on the 3rd one, they were punished.
4th goal of the season for Al-Hassan Toure, who moves level at the top of the scoring charts along with Joe Lolly. And the Mariners' lead lasted just 20 minutes. Alex Badalato and Max Caputo, the other 2 players on 4 goals now, along with the Sydney FC duo. Theoharis, oh, he's done well. Now he needs an option. Didn't go out of play despite the remonstrations of the Sydney bench. These sides have 6 different goal scorers. The major difference being that Alfie McCalmont has 2 for the Mariners. Well, in fact, Brad Tapp becomes their 7th goal scorer this season. The difference on the other side is Joe Lolley and Al Hassan both have 4. Pat Wood has 2. And then there are the other players. They are a free-scoring side this season, Sydney FC, the best attack in the land. And we've been treated to a first-half goal. Daniel McBreen, something of a rarity.
We have, just their 2nd for the season.
Quintal back with Joe Lolley. Yuli with Grant. Here's Garucha. Looks up. Quispe now. The Peruvian with Tisserand. Everyone back. Oh, it's given away. Everyone was back for the Mariners, but everyone was pretty high as well for Sydney FC. Here's Devonish Mears with Grant. Joe Lolley, first time ball, looking for Toure again. Leaping with Paul. It might yet fall. Campuzano. Toure's there. Ball across the face of goal, cleared by Storm Roux. Flag stays down.
Well, the moment that Nathan Paul allowed that ball to bounce, they were in trouble. And they get back. Storm Roux positioned himself well. It's little moments like that creeping into the Mariners game.
You can see Alfie McCalmont with some words for his teammates as well about clearing the ball out of there, stopping these high turnovers. So Joe Lolley and Piero Quispe standing over this free kick. Sydney FC, who fell behind in the 10th minute and equalised in the 29th, now have another chance perhaps. Lolley's ball, too close to Andrew Redmayne, and comfortably saved. Let's head back down to Garvey on the sidelines. Garvey, what's Ufuk Talay wanting from his side?
Well, Storm Roux did well a moment ago, but Sydney FC feels that they can exploit him. A couple of times, Ufuk Talay has told Ben Garucha to play it quickly in behind Storm Roux and look for Alassane Toure. He thinks they can get Toure in behind Storm Roux, who is playing a little bit higher up the field, and perhaps use that as an avenue to goal. So that's something to watch out for.
Thank you, Garvey. Well, there's also the fact that the only other game Alassane Toure scored in this season, he scored 3. When he's hot, he's hot. The new Socceroo. Powerful runner with plenty of pace and a clinical finish as well. De Pizio, that's a clever header. De Lima, De Pizio, trying to find a little bit of space. He couldn't play in Theoharis. Bradley Tapp cleans up possession for the Mariners. It's been a while. They've had the ball under control in this final third. Calmont, who rattled the crossbar with that long-range effort. Roux, De Lima, that's a nice first touch facing forward. De Pizio, McCalmont, back in, De Lima, oh, that's clever. The cutback, De Pizio, the chance, still De Pizio, off the crossbar again. Now Theoharis, off the crossbar another time. Well, Devonish Mears' goal leading a charmed life. 35 minutes in, and the Mariners have hit the woodwork 3 times.
Well, it was wonderful play. De Lima, De Pizio. That's what we talked about in the pre-game show about the ruthlessness. This is where we need to see the likes of De Pizio and Theoharis just put them away. That's a glorious opportunity to take the lead for both. De Pizio in the main. And they're the opportunities that need to find the back of the net.
Really good pass from Alfie McCalmont to open up that space.
It was wonderful movement off the ball as well, wasn't it, between DiPizio and De Lima.
Well, we may have had to wait a little bit, Macca, for this one this evening with the Storm delay, but it's delivered so far. Free kick, foul on Ryan Grant. Definitely late into that challenge, De Lima. Here's Grant again. Kispe. Toure. Reaching around was Theoharis. Referee says play can continue. Bradley Tapp. Too much pace for Kispe. Tapp down this right-hand side. It's a great run. Ricochets off. Oh, Alex Grant, and he almost got the better of the Socceroo defender.
He just tried the cheeky little nutmeg at the end of the run-busting run. Sort of a clean pair of heels there.
Stormroo with Tapp, whose long legs again just get there ahead of Campuzano. McCalmont, great switch of play again. Moragas ball in towards DiPizio. Nathan Paul, big header back in towards Edmondson. The two headers ricocheting around, almost fell invitingly for a Mariner.
Well, it was a good passage of play for the Mariners, wasn't it? Haven't had too much possession.
There's that ball in behind Rue into the channel. Toure, the cross. Now Kispe kills the ball dead with the control. Looks for the little 1-2. Quintal still going. McCalmont hacks it away. Garuccio. Back, Sydney FC. Still hovering around that 70% possession. There's plenty of holding on again. Oh, and Nathan Paul with the arms flying, almost caught Quintal. Ryan Grant again wrestling with De Lima. Sydney FC still with the ball. Reece Yuli. Toure. It's a nice pass from Yuli. Toure again. Well, he rid the first challenge of Stormroo, who claims he may have got trodden on there as well. Limps away from the challenge. It's out for a goal kick.
Here's another look at that interplay from De Lima, DiPizio, and that right there, that's the opportunity. He has to find the back of the net, and then Theoharis with the rebound. For the third time, the Mariners hit the crossbar.
Lolly, as again it breaks down for the Mariners. Lolly into the area, still going. Well, he tried to do it all on his own, and he almost did.
It's like he almost lost track of where the ball was there in amongst all the legs. He looked up at his teammates as if to say, what happened there? But it's been an entertaining 40 minutes so far. Sydney FC with almost 70% possession, but the Mariners going stride for stride with strikes on goals. 5 shots apiece, 2 on target apiece.
Well, the Mariners have almost beaten their match average for shots in this first half alone. They only average 6 per game so far this season. The second fewest shots at goal in the league. In fact, fewest shots taken, 36 in 6 games coming in to this evening's match for them. Tisserand. DiPizio gives chase. Grant had a couple of meters head start and used it to his advantage. Here's Ryan Grant with Lolly again, can't keep it in. Well, it was Alu Kuol that scored last week from a throw-in, a long throw that caught out the defence. This evening it was a corner. So 2 set-piece goals that have proved costly so far for Ufuk Taleh's side. Theoharis drives inside, holds onto the ball, but ended up needing support from behind. Tap. Again, they look wide for Moragas in space. That time Ryan Grant, alert to the danger, did well. Here's Grant again. Tisserand, 2.5 minutes left in regulation time in this first half. The early ball for Al Hassan Toure, flags up for offside.
Yeah, just a little early in his run. It's been an enthralling contest, as we said. Aaron has soaked up a lot of pressure, been very robust in defence. This is where they've had problems.
And again, it's a poor clearance. Nathan Paul this time. Look at the space here for Joe Lolly. Squares it. Campuzano. And the flag's up for offside. Such a cheap giveaway. Nathan Paul screaming at Ryan Edmondson, who's giving it straight back. The inquisition in the Mariners ranks, but there'll be an inquisition in the VAR room as well to see if this goal will stand or not.
It'll be interesting to see who it is. It's almost like a hopeful ball in. Well, yeah, that's great officiating from the referee's assistant on the far side. But that's where the Mariners have struggled, playing out. Sydney have pressed, they've waited for those passes into central areas, and they've stepped in and they've been aggressive and won, and they go quickly. We've seen them do it time and time again. And I'm sure, particularly after we saw the histrionics of Warren Moon after the goal and just before, he'll be having a quiet word with them at half-time about tidying that area of the game. Ufuk Taleh, I think he'll be relatively happy with the way his team's playing. They're controlling the game, they've got plenty of possession. I'm sure he'll feel that his team in the second half have more goals in them.
That's a great turn and acceleration from Quintal. Now here's Campuzano, denied just a second earlier by the offside flag, that time by a heavy touch.
Thiago Quintal has been fantastic, hasn't he? The acceleration, the turns to get out of tight areas, the acceleration, then the composure and the awareness to pick out his teammate, and it's just a heavy, poor touch.
Just 18 years of age, Quintal. Another Australian youth international who's come through the ranks at Sydney FC. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Just the one A-League goal to his name. It came against Brisbane last season for Thiago Quintal. Here's Garuccio taking on Theoharis, cross back post into a good area. Joe Lolly peeling off, has the ball at his feet now, drives it near post, trying to get one over his former teammate and old mate, but a bit ambitious, shall we say.
Well, when you're top goal scorer and you're playing the way he is, no one's really going to say too much, are they? But he did have numbers central.
Yeah, maybe your teammate who's also top scorer on the other flank. You were always a generous teammate in front of goal, weren't you, Macca?
I was. It's all about the team, Robbie. And they certainly heard it when they didn't square it.
Quintal again. Campuzano sliding in. It's a real battle at the moment out there, and Sydney are winning that battle a lot of the time.
Yeah, they are. Really aggressive. As I said, they wait to pounce. They wait for that opportunity. Wait till there's a little bit of pressure on the ball. And then they go with aggression and they go with pace.
Tisserand with Grant. They want to get it back again with Garuccio. An experienced left boot preferred over Joel King. Again, Ufuk Talay not happy with something that he's seen. Warren Moon not happy either after his side raced into an early lead here at Polytech Stadium through Brad Tapp's first ever A-League goal, only for Al Hassan Toure to equalise after a number of high turnovers. In the end, they paid for it. Well, the evening hasn't been the most summery of conditions here at Polytech, but the Sydney FC fans are certainly enjoying themselves, those that have managed to make the trip north to Gosford. Half-time on the Central Coast. The Mariners 1, Sydney FC 1. Let's head off to a quick break before we head back to the studio with Tara and the boys.
Love how you live in the 7-seat Isuzu NUX SUV. You can go your own way.
With the Isuzu MUX SUV, everyday life doesn't have to be every day. Come on. Love our journey with the Isuzu MUX.
Darren Kunda, he can hit them, does so. Oh, what a goal! Sergio Van Dijk, an absolute screamer. It's a big fixture for big players. Believe me, there is a divide in this one. It's the original rivalry.
When you invest with eStore, you start seeing investors everywhere. You see, eStore really is everywhere. More than 40 million people worldwide can invest anytime, anywhere with eStore.
Say hello to the Ninja Slushy, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home.
Welcome back to Polytech Stadium. 1-1 at the break between the Mariners and Sydney FC. No changes to either side either. Plenty to talk about in that first half. The Central Coast Mariners hitting the woodwork 3 times in that first half, having opened the scoring early, but Sydney FC probably creating the better chances, or at least dominating a lot of the game. Daniel McBreen.
Well, I'll agree that they were dominating the match. They were controlling the game. I'm not too sure about the better chances. I think Warren Moon would have had a choice word or two about being ruthless in front of goal to his team.
Well, Daniel Garb was having a listen in at half-time. We'll head to him as soon as we have a break in play, as perhaps the Mariners look to break forward with DiPizio. Good pace from DiPizio. Oh, referee's assistant on that far side saying it ran out of play. Let's go straight down to Daniel Garb then. What have you heard during the half-time break, Garby?
Well, you're right, Macca. Warren Moon wasn't happy at all. You couldn't help but overhear him during half-time, really laying down the law to his charges, furious at the manner in which they gave up the ascendancy in that first half after scoring first and looking so strong. It was as vocal as you could hear a coach in any changing rooms, just about, and I can't imagine it would have been too different in the Sydney FC changing rooms as well, because for the last 15 or so minutes of that first half, Ufuk Talay wasn't happy either, asking for his coaching staff to clip up images of his players so he could show them at half-time. You could tell the frustration was really starting to build on the Sydney FC bench as well.
Thank you, Garby. Frustrated coaches generally makes for a good football match from a neutral's perspective. It's well played, Toure. Inside towards Campuzano. Yuli gets there, finds Lolly. Against De Lima, Joe Lolly still closed down quickly by his compatriot, Alfie McCalmont. No foul by Kispe on Bradley Tapp. Campuzano putting himself about. That certainly looked a foul on Moragas. Referee says no foul, goal kick.
Well, I thought there was about 3 fouls there, if I'm honest. One from Kispe, Campuzano with a couple as well. And we have a goal kick.
Ryan Grant. Was he fouled? Yes, says the referee, by De Lima. Taken quickly, a little underhit, asking a little bit of Thiago Quintal, but he did it well, the number 20, as he has done. I wouldn't say exactly a new role for him, but mostly when we've seen him come on, it's been in one of those wide attacking positions, often as a second-half substitute.
Well, if his performance in the first half is anything, we'll like to see more in the central areas. He is on the ball at the moment.
And he lets fly. Good save, Redmayne. Moragas completes the clearance.
Well, another quality piece of play from the young man. Just so sharp. Finds good little pockets. Really sharp on the touch. Very aware of his surroundings as well, whether it's a pass or a strike.
Campuzano rides one challenge through. Quintal squares it. Oh, it's behind. And now the follow-up from Garuccio. And that was a presentable opportunity, but they were queuing up in the middle.
Well, we'll have a look here at the first one. Thiago Quintal, Andrew Redmayne up to that one. And just here, when you have a look, I thought he may have had a strike there across the goal. Think about Redmayne maybe going down and palming it into the path of Al Hassan Toure. And I think Storm Roux did very well in the end to just leave his foot away and let it roll through.
Now DiPizio, early ball. Edmondson leaves it for McCalmont, tries to bend one. Hits the back of Alex Grant. End to end at the start of this second half. Thea Harris doing the fouling, 7-on-7. Again, Grant goes to ground looking for the free kick. You could hear his cry to try and let the referee know. Campuzano. Well, he'll be feeling that there's a goal in this one for him, like there was the first time these two sides met this season. Well, that's a good ball again, somehow made it all the way through to Joe Lolly.
Well, the Mariners have to watch those runs from the midfield in behind. Just as the defending Mariners players step forward towards the ball, it opens a space in behind, and that's Joe Lolly and Kispe now both finding that space early in the second half.
Kispe again, it's come off the Peruvian last, according to Ben Abraham. Another one to add to the list of grievances for Ufuk Talay on the sidelines. We saw Maka, Ufi's assistant coach, John Maizano, one-on-one with Piero Kispe, who we know doesn't speak much English, on loan from Pumas, the Mexican side, Peruvian international. He was with the Peruvian national team in the last window. No foul, says the referee. Joe Lolly, Quintal gets past McCalmont. Good tackle, Nathan Paul. Sydney FC fans continuing to enjoy themselves high in the stands, particularly now the rain has abated. After that nearly an hour's delay for lightning and a torrential thunderstorm. Under pressure, in the end, could have conceded a throw-in, has conceded a corner.
Well, it's still very nervy from the Mariners playing out, isn't it? Pressure from Sydney FC, unrelenting.
Changes could be afoot for Warren Moon and the Central Coast Mariners as Kispe takes the corner. Tisserand was there, back post, Lolly. Danger for the Mariners, Joe Lolly. The cutback is a good one. Toure, great block. Toure still, the ball ricocheting around. Ryan Grant still has it, but he's come back from an offside position.
Well, look at the bodies in the box. Calmont, I think it was, that came flying out. Look at all those yellow shirts. Ryan Grant clearly in an offside position. It's all hands on deck for the men in yellow at the back.
Bailey Brandman and Sabit Nyor are receiving some instructions. Oh, it's Nathan Paul's turn to send it straight into touch. He's been a little bit wasteful with his clearances, Nathan Paul, this evening. Quintal again involved. He's a lively character. Yuli with Quintal again, inside and out, gets it onto that left foot, cross in. Cleared only just by Storm Roux. Double change for the Mariners is ready. Ufuk Talay has sent his bench to warm up behind the goal as well. Well, that's two wide attacking options in Brandman and Nyor, about to enter the fray for the Mariners. Sydney think that should be their throw. Those substitutions are coming now. Ryan Edmondson, who only touched the ball 6 times in the first half, is making way for Bailey Brantman. And Arthur De Lima makes way for Sabitnor. So Warren Moon shows his hand first in this one.
Well, plenty of energy will come from those substitutions. Sabitnor works up and down that line tirelessly. It's been a long year for him. On loan, of course, in the NPL in Victoria. Straight into the A-League season. Bailey Brantman, who got the winner against Perth a few weeks ago. His tail will be up. Hearing he's been very good in training. He's been very pleased with him of late.
A couple of pretty disappointed players have headed to the bench as well. Heads dropped immediately. Here is Brantman's first touch. And look at Muir streaking away. Oh, and the first touch just played it straight to Ryan Grant, who gave it straight back again at the back post. De Pizio was waiting for it. It never came. Now Brantman. McCalmont with the follow-up. Wasn't far away. Well, I thought they'd managed to take a very good chance and turn it into nothing at all before McCalmont almost salvaged the situation.
Well, it's this first touch here that allows Ryan Grant back into the frame, but then he muscles him off. And as the reinforcements come, it's time to be a little bit calm, and well, I tell you what, maybe Devon Ishmeer's had it covered, but he was hit. There's some venom again from McCalmont. Doesn't mind a strike from outside the box, does he?
A-League goals haven't been thick on the ground for him. Just the one last year. And that came in a 4-1 defeat against Auckland. But 2 this season from the penalty spot. Great ball from Grant to pick out Quintal. He looks up. That's a little more complicated, straight down the middle. But again, the Mariners just give the ball straight back again. Campuzano ran into Nathan Paul. Again, Warren Moon just despairing on the sidelines when that ball was given back. This time Theoharis has won the free kick, and it's Sydney FC's turn to not be happy.
Well, I just wonder how much Christian Theoharis has left in the legs. He hasn't had too much football. First start of the season tonight. Warren Moon and Josh Rose in deep conversation down on the sideline. Another one.
Well, that was Tap this time, just giving it away. Toure down the left-hand side. And Tap, in looking to make amends for his first mistake, picks up a yellow card. Well, there's the foul, but the bigger mistake was before that.
Yeah, exactly. The pass, it was just a sloppy pass, wasn't it? And if they're going to keep giving the ball away in their back third like that, Sydney FC are going to make them pay.
Sydney FC are dangerous from set pieces. Piero Quispe already has 1 assist this evening. Standing over the free kick. Takes it short. The angle change, back post towards Ryan Grant. Joe Lolly. Good first touch, and Rhys Yuli letting fly. And there's a change afoot now for Sydney FC. Abel Wallati is preparing to come on. And as that happens, we'll head back down to Daniel Garb on the sidelines. Garby.
It's lively down here. Sydney FC making changes. That frustration that we spoke about at half-time on both benches ensuing. But there's also a fantastic atmosphere, most notably from the Sydney FC fans. The Cove are in the top level of the away section, and I must say they have been absolutely fantastic. They moved up there because of the lightning delay, I imagine they haven't bothered to come down, but they're making a fantastic atmosphere around Polytech Stadium and cheering on their team in the best possible fashion. It's great to witness.
Thank you, Gabi. Al Hassan Toure, the player making way after netting his 4th goal of the season. He is a real menace down that left flank for Sydney FC's opponents. Again, Fuktale in the ear of the 4th official, Jake Rose. This one evenly poised with half an hour left to play. Sydney FC as they were in the first half, with most of the ball, most of the territory. But the Mariners still look dangerous when they can hit one of those transitions and make it stick. Donachie with Storm Roux. Pizio's touch, tap, free kick, just the whistle to his rescue there.
Well, he just seemed to go down a little late there, didn't he? There is the slightest of touches. And again, that Sydney FC press is causing problems, isn't it, for the Mariners playing through.
Willie down with Garuccio. 11 shots to 7 in Sydney's favour. 4 on target. As Thiago Quintal on the charge again. Oh, and Wallity made the run to the front post, and in the end the pass dissected both of them. That's a good header forward. High boot, is it? No, says the referee. Bradman asking the question of the referee as Sydney just gave it straight back again. Frustration for Fuktale. Bradman, little touch up for Moragas. That was a clever touch and a good pass. Here's Nior. Moragas overlapping. Nior may not need him. In the end, he puts the brakes on. Now Moragas' cross is a good one. Pizio just couldn't get there. It might yet break for Brantman. Well, that's where the Mariners do look dangerous. Oh, the crowd don't like that.
Well, as much as Sydney FC are controlling the majority of the play, they are causing problems for the Mariners. You can't write them off. They do look dangerous when they break forward.
Warren Moon is preparing a third change. Looks as though Nick Duarte will be the next player into the mix. Lolly finding Kisbe. Well, the old muscle memory went into work there without the ball for a second for the Peruvian. Here he is again. Campuzano. Oh, read by McCalmont. Oh, Pizio. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. That looked a pretty special piece of skill. Only for Thea Harris to be robbed. Again, Kisbe. Thea Harris not giving anything away, but in the end, he does. A free kick.
Well, both teams really showing an urgency when they give that ball away to go and press the ball. Try and win it back, put pressure on the player.
progressively spending more and more time in the Mariners' final third of the field now. Kispe again, accelerates. Outside, Garuccio, plenty to aim for in the middle. Garuccio's cross, Wallity was there, so was Donachie to head her away. And that might yet fall for DiPizio. A little touch for Nior, looking for the pace of Savignon. And again, Sydney FC just playing themselves into a bit of trouble.
Yeah. I just thought there, maybe DiPizio could have just backed himself. 1v1.
Christian Theoharis makes way. An incredible night for him on the opening day of the season when he gave away that penalty and then provided the assist for the winner in the final seconds. Brantman. Oh, beautifully done. Brantman still, perhaps one little jink and turn too many from Bailey Brantman. And now Kispe. Nice ball for Wallity. Abel Wallity. Only Campuzano and Quintal forward with him. Wallity down to the byline. Blocked by Stormrue. Corner to follow.
Well, you can see what he thinks about the extra touches at the other end. They just put me in pressure at the other end, so pass the ball, please.
Taken short, that's dangerous. Quintal again. And he's been everywhere. Thiago Quintal in this one. Kispe, he's been lively as well, seen plenty of the ball in this second half. Yuli. And Lolly. Quintal. Quintal still, the cross is a brilliant one. Oh, Campuzano scored! Fantastic play from Thiago Quintal again. And midway through the second half, Sydney FC have come from behind and now take the lead. Campuzano, whose only other goal in the A-League came earlier this season against the Central Coast Mariners. He's done the double.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, they were queuing up. Look at the numbers in the box. Making their run, making their second run. And when the ball finally does come, it's Campuzano who times it well. And this guy has been at the heart of everything. Thiago Quintal, he has been exceptional. He went one way, went the other, and then he delivers it on a platter. Campuzano tucks it away. Sydney FC will feel that they have now got the lead that they deserve.
Well, on the balance of play, hard to deny, but football is all about taking those chances, which now they have done. The Barcelona-born Victor Campuzano, who played for Espanyol and Real Madrid. Scored 5 goals in the Europa League for Espanyol before heading to Sporting Gijón. And he continues to be one of what is a very strong Spanish tradition in the A-Leagues. Kispe, long for Campuzano, who's found a little extra yard of pace there. Since the goal, Campuzano still going. Can he find an option? He was looking for Quintal. Kispe, Wallity, trying to just drive the cross into a dangerous area. Sydney FC are going to make another change. Wataru Kamijo, another of of the Sydney Youth Academy players, who was promoted under Steve Corica and comes in for his third appearance of the season. The most recent, that 2-0 win over MacArthur at Leichhardt, and it's Thiago Quintal who makes way back up.
Well, he's been exceptional tonight. I think he's been one of the best on the park. A real talent. I'm sure we'll see plenty more of him in the years to come. So good on the ball. Real electric off the mark, and caused Central Coast all kinds of problems with his positioning, his movement, his passing. He got the assist for the second goal that put them ahead.
There is the Hungry Jacks live ladder as it stands. Sydney FC moving back to the top of the table, a point above Auckland. And the Mariners, who were sitting in the 6th, in 5th place when they were leading this one by 1-0, have dropped back to 8th place. But there's still plenty of time for that to change again.
Well, with the chances that the Mariners have had in this match, you wouldn't write off an equalising goal, but you also wouldn't write off a couple more for Sydney.
Volley bundled over by Duarte, and this is a dangerous part of the field.
Well, this is in a really dangerous area. There's 5 Sydney FC players standing over the balls in conversation. Joe Lolly just standing back now, letting the other 4 have a discussion. Before, I think he might just step in and say, conversation over, lads, this might be mine.
Is he going to suggest this is made for the left footer?
Well, it's the perfect position, isn't it?
Well, Ben Garuccio doesn't mind a free kick either, and he's got a pretty good left boot on him. There he is now, a little touch. Lolly hits it, and you can hear it cannon off the bodies.
Well, training ground move. Joe Lolly was the beneficiary of the move, got the strike away, hit it with some real spice.
Sydney FC have scored goals late this season, more than any other side in the final 15 minutes of matches, which we're about to enter now. Camijo.
Well, we said this game doesn't really ever produce nil-nils. It's been entertaining one tonight, hasn't it? Just 3 0-0 draws in 60 matches between these two.
Well, last weekend's match against Western Sydney was the first time Sydney haven't scored this season as well. They have found their attacking mojo. Mind you, there was no problem scoring goals last week either. Quality. Sydney coming forward again. Donachie, there's the strike from Camijo. Referee says goal kick. Now the Mariners do need to show a little more urgency now. Warren Moon, really quite animated on the sidelines, Warren Moon, this evening. There again, Andrew Redmayne just sends it straight into touch from the goal kick.
Well, he's given those advertising hoardings around him a kick a few times. The arms have been in the air. I think Josh Rose and Danny Vukovic have had their ear chewed off for most of the match. Well, with good reason. Sydney FC, top of the table. They've had some really good opportunities, particularly in that first half. to make them pay. They didn't take it. And now Sydney FC are now starting to... Well, they've been showing their ascendancy, but now they have the lead.
Nathan Paul, he's been one of the culprits for giving the ball away, but not the only one this evening either. For the Mariners, always Redmayne's turn. They get away with it. Brad Tapp working extra hard. And now Storm Roux. Is this going to be another one of these chances for the Mariners? Not that time. The two former Western United men, Garuccio and Wallity, putting paid to that counter. Now we are into the final 15 minutes. This is where matches invariably get decided. Incidentally, that headed goal from Campuzano, a third headed goal this season for Sydney. That too is more than any other side. Sydney FC, 7 goals in the last half hour of matches, 5 in the last 15 minutes. Mariners just 1. Looking to set that straight here. Duarte couldn't find DiPizio. Sydney clear long all the way to Andrew Redmayne. Duarte, good use of the body. What's the referee make of that? He was bundled over by Alex Grand. He got in front now.
Well, this reminds me of a free kick that was given today. Sam Cosgrove just got his body in between, gets across.
Well, they've given it back, the follow-up. Well, that was almost a role reversal between the two sides there.
Sydney FC handing over the ball, and as is his wont, from McCalmont with another strike outside the box. Well, that was a close call, to be fair.
Brad Tapp.
Well, Robbie, thoughts? Penalty, no penalty?
I wonder if he didn't go down just a little too easily, looking for the contact. Was it inside the box?
Maybe we can get another look at that one.
DiPizio again. Well, there's what you were waiting for, Macca. The reverse scenario.
Maybe we can see them side by side. Here's DiPizio. Body goes across. Maybe he goes down. Well, your words. Maybe he goes down a little too easily. There's the other one. I tell you what.
Well, we know what the Mariners
Well, of course.
players and staff and fans thought about that. We also know, as that ball almost made it through to Duarte, that there are differing thresholds, aren't there, for free kicks
For
and
defenders,
penalties.
for defenders and attackers, is that
Well,
what you're
giving
saying?
a penalty or not giving a penalty.
We all know that defenders just fall over, flop and get the free kick every time. Every striker knows that in football. Well, I think that will be a discussion point after the
It's
game.
not personal, then.
Well, it feels it, Robbie.
Well, perhaps that will just drive the Mariners on as well. It's nothing like feeling a little bit of injustice to get you to dig that little bit deeper. 10 minutes to go. We've got Joe Lolly now down holding his right hamstring, and the entire Mariners bench is up off their feet and absolutely furious, including much of the grandstand as well, as Pat Wood is called across and preparing to come in. That's Danny Vukovic, the assistant coach, coming to find out what the fourth official is making of all of this. Well, let's head down to Daniel Garb on the sidelines. Garby, you might have another opinion on that penalty call, or at least one from the people around you down there.
Yeah, it's not about my opinion. It's the opinion of the Mariners fans right now, and they are absolutely filthy at the moment as Joe Lolly makes his way to the bench. Hopefully this is not serious. This would be a massive story if Joe Lolly's done some damage to his hamstring. He does look okay, so you'd imagine it's not too bad. But the Mariners fans, so vocal at the moment. They may have a reputation as the most polite supporter group in the A-League. Not at the moment. They are giving it to the officials no end right now and making their presence felt. They are not happy with the decisions that have gone against them.
DePizio on the charge. Here's Brantman. Brantman, nice touch. Outside, Moragas. He shoots. Oh, good save. Devonish Mears, and the referee has given a goal kick.
It was great free from Brantman. Yeah, there's a clear touch there. Well, not only the fans incensed now, the Mariners bench are up on their feet. Well, that's great refereeing. Working together as a team. And that's what you like to see. That's what they're there for. That's why you have assistants and a fourth official. They get it right in the end. Now look, Tale's not happy.
He is absolutely blowing up at the fourth official now.
Well, how many times do you see the referees ask the fourth official to get involved? Well, he's got involved, and now they're not happy. Football, you've got to love it.
Absolutely. No end of stories here at Polytech Stadium.
It's from the other side.
Yeah, which is what has just gotten across now. So it won't be Alfie McCalmont to take, it'll be Bailey Brantman. Tale wants to know who told the referee it was a corner, whether it was the fourth official or the referee's assistant on this near side. Bailey Brantman dealing with that breeze that has been there since the first half. In it comes. Back post, not a bad ball. Storm Roux was being double teamed at the back post, but he's won another corner. Now Alfie McCalmont gets his corner on this side of the field. In it comes, back post again. Devonish Mears can't get there. Ball hit hands. And look at Pat Wood. He has haired off upfield, trying to pull defenders one way then the other, but Devonish Mears keeping a cool head. A look at the scoreboard with 7 minutes to go says we're in no hurry.
Well, barely does a game go by at Polytech Stadium where there isn't late drama, crowd involvement, decisions that one of the two benches don't like. And they won't die wondering. They'll throw everything at Sydney FC. And they're going to make them earn the 3 points if they're going to take them.
We are entering the Christmas period as well, which is always a very busy one, as Garvey just mentioned, with Joe Lolly going off. They've got Perth away, then Newcastle away, Auckland at home, Melbourne City away. It's a run of away matches for Sydney FC at the moment before they get back to their home of Allianz Stadium. 6 away and 1 at home. Started last week, that run, against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Pat Wood goes down, no free kick. Grant back with Yuli. He's had a good game, Reece Yuli, in that base of midfield this evening as well. Grant takes over. The cutback. The header not the most convincing from Brad Tapp. Abel Wallity. Well played to Pizio. Brantman with Duarte. Tisserand, Campuzano. They keep it alive, Sydney. They're showing a bit of scrap themselves here. Wallity, Campuzano again. He's got the experience, Campuzano. He's not going to have his feathers ruffled that easily. Camijo with Tisserand. Perhaps that experience might just prove to be the difference between these two sides. Quispe, he's played in some pressure cooker environments as well in South America. Moragas, the big up and under. And again, Sydney won't be in a hurry. There is the Paramount Plus player index. Ryan Grant leads the way ahead of Campuzano, who got the second goal. Brad Tapp and Nathan Paul in there as well in that top five. Still a couple of minutes left for that to change, or perhaps someone else to get a crucial goal for the Mariners to maintain their undefeated home record this season. For Sydney FC to get back into top spot on the ladder. For the moment, that's the way it stands as Wallity fires wide.
Well, what about Ryan Grant? The man who's been here for it seems like eternity. Players come and go, and there he is on top of Paramount Plus player index. He is an absolute machine. You keep thinking he's going to start to decline. Well, he just keeps going. A true leader in the sense. You don't get it very often these days, someone who's a one-club man, but that guy, he is the epitome of Sydney FC. What a player, and what a leader.
And perhaps this evening, the man with 150 A-League victories, because this could be number 150 for him if it stays this way. Brantman with Roux, looking to rain on that parade. De Pizio dispossessed. Pat Wood on the charge. Oh, the pass is under hit. Pat Wood's going to get there. Touches it back. Campuzano, brilliant piece of defending. Fantastic from Nathan Paul. Donachie's blushes spared. And no corner. Well, now Ufuk-Talay is asking the fourth official to tell the referee it should be a corner.
Well, what a Herculean effort there from Nathan Paul to get back. To say that there's been I'm just laughing at Ufuk-Talay still going at the officials. To say there's been some decisions that have been to the disliking of the benches would be an understatement.
Well, there's a foul on Wallity by Donachie.
This has been a thoroughly entertaining football match. Ufuk-Talay is going to receive a yellow card now.
Like he did last weekend, the most yellow-carded coach in the history of the A-League is yellow again. He wants to keep it going to the fourth official. Back again, he just can't get enough of it.
Well, amidst all of that, we move into the final minute of regulation time. Sydney FC looking to find a goal that will put it beyond doubt.
Wallity, that's gone out of play under the nose of the official. Ufuk-Talay is reaching absolute fever pitch on the sidelines here. He is more than living every single opportunity here He wants to play his part in what he hopes will be a win. He is straining every sinew to try and get his side across the line. 5 minutes of stoppages, so plenty of time for the Mariners to steal something. Here's Camijo. Outside, Pat Wood. He's been full of running since coming on. Garucho in support. Quispe now. Ryan Grant and Sydney FC take the sting out of it. Wallity. It's going to be a corner. Into the first minute of stoppage time. Piero Quispe with the corner for Sydney FC. They went behind in the 10th minute as the Mariners captain Bradley Tapp scored from a corner. The Mariners hit the crossbar before Al Hassan Toure got his 4th of the season. The Mariners hit the crossbar another couple of times before Campuzano finally got the second goal. Now, you have to be careful in these situations. It's a free kick. We saw that between Brisbane and Melbourne victory. Now Ryan Grant, for all that experience, picking up a yellow card for that push on Bailey Brantman. Here come the Mariners again. Moragas. McCalmont. Tap. Oh, DePizio's turn to give it away, and the break is on again here. Campuzano charging through the middle. Wataru Camijo looking to arrive. Quispe. Nice feet, Quispe. Foul by Nathan Paul. And it's going to be another booking.
It was a great run. Campuzano was making a run in behind in the central area. Elected to go himself. Draws the foul, and that will take another minute or so off the clock as they get set.
The Peruvian fans, who generally don't like the sight of Andrew Redmayne at a football match after his heroics for the Socceroos. But there they are, they're enjoying the show so far, including that run from Quispe. Well, we saw the first free kick routine from Sydney FC. Now Piero Quispe is standing over this one, looking for his first goal for Sydney FC. It is Quispe straight into the wall, gets it back. Ryan Grant now. Cleared by Tapp. Camijo with Wood. Campuzano brings it down well. Quispe again. Mariners need the ball. Just over a minute left. The Sydney FC fans doing the ole ole for each pass now. As Devon Ishmears just boots it up the other end of the pitch, away from danger. That's the Sydney FC fans you can hear. Good strong header from Alex Grant. And now he's on the charge. The central defender, tap across in cover. Just seconds remaining now. On a stormy night on the Central Coast after a delay of nearly an hour to kick off. After falling behind early, Sydney FC have come from behind and look like they're going to claim all 3 points to take them back to the top of the table here, unless the Mariners have something left in the tank. Quality, a little bit lucky perhaps. Streaking away, Campuzano at the back post. Quality still. Yuli. That would have capped off a pretty good performance from him as well this evening. There goes the final whistle. A week after defeat in the derby at the hands of Western Sydney, Sydney FC have bounced back and bounced back to the top of the table. They fell behind early to Bradley Tapp, but their fans, who have had to wait a long time in the rain after that storm delay, saw their side come from behind, equalised through Al Hassan Touré's 4th of the season, before going ahead midway through the second half as Victor Campuzano, their Spanish striker, got his 2nd of the season. It's a 3rd defeat of the campaign for the Central Coast Mariners. They lose their undefeated home record. It's a 3rd win in a row in this fixture for Sydney FC. And it was a performance, well, not always pleasing for Ufuk Talay on the sidelines, who is still making a point of things to Ben Abraham in the middle. They have got the win they came here looking for, Sydney FC. They're back at the top of the tree. Victors over the Central Coast Mariners in Gosford by 2-1.